so that it's clear not just the membership on each of the, the terminology, the advisory committee roster, so that it is up to date and that it also reflects the liaisons to the Finance and Administration Advisory Committee. The final point, which was much more minor, where we did give some feedback to Mr. Claypool, was that we requested, given how fast things are moving, that on the weeks where our commission is not meeting, that he could provide, to err on the side of more communication rather than less with the rest of the commission. And so where there might be items of interest, much as the type of things he talks about in his executive director report are, for example, our business cards are ready on X day, or the Blackberries, that type of thing, that he will be making an effort to just send out little regular updates or communications to the commissioners in between our open sessions.
Absolutely, and that was what we discussed, and there is, as we started up, there was a lot to do, and so we forgot at the office that we needed to tell the bosses what we were doing. And so we have every intention from this point to keep you informed. I'd also like to note that I just received a message that the issue with UC Berkeley has been resolved for the current budget year, that according to the legislature, they do not believe funding will be a barrier to the ability to deliver the database on time or ahead of time to the Commission. So,
any other items from the Budget Advisory Committee, Budget and Administration?
Just that it's called the Finance and Advisory. Finance and Administration
Advisory Committee. Very good. Okay, great. Let's move forward at this time to the next item is the schedule for March. Vice Chairman, you had some comments on that, correct?
Thank you. After reviewing the schedule online, and also trying to anticipate that at some point in March we are going to begin these educational meetings, the jury's still out on exactly what those meetings will look like, when they'll be scheduled, how many commissioners will want to have at each of those meetings. I have a recommendation on when we would schedule our next business meeting for. In looking at the calendar during this session, we have talked about the idea of holding a one-day or partial day meeting on the 4th, which would be focused on the legal subcommittee, the legal advisory committee. And there may be also need to have some feedback regarding responses to the RFP that we'll be putting out for outreach and for our technical consultants and for input hearings. With that in mind, we will be meeting the last week of February, from the 23rd for our subcommittee.